We have a bunch sold. Wait, what?
There's quite a few sales already. Did they sell out already, or are there still some? Oh yeah,
Let's.
they are. The
Are they already gone?
1,200 are gone
We're
already,
already
and
gone.
so that
Really? Wow.
less than 5 minutes.
What's up, Candy Fam? My name is Nate, that's David, and this is the Talkin Candy Weekly Update. Each week, we take a seat and give you an idea of what you need to be paying attention to in the world of candy. And while David and I each have collections of our own, this is not financial advice. We are just having a good time. David, it is Cal Ripken Jr. rookie collection drop day. It is dropping in just a couple minutes. We pushed our recording. I'm pretty excited for this. You?
Yeah, 90 seconds to go, and I'm ready to get my rookie boxes. I'm excited that they're blind boxes, that we don't know what we're gonna get yet, and can't wait to find out.
Yeah. So pushed recording to today to get this. Figured it'd be better than waiting a whole week to put any content out on it. So gonna jump in the queue, and we'll have a little conversation in the meantime. But hopefully we get through pretty quickly, and then we're each gonna rip a couple packs. But quickly in the meantime here, I just wanted to real fast show that we had a very cool sale this week, which was the Vladimir Guerrero 2021 one of one huge sale, 19th biggest sale all time, and that went for 12,500. So didn't want to miss highlighting that at the top of the show. But with that, we'll keep the focus on Ripken for now, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Titans of week 5 that have dropped. We had a particularly interesting week in terms of different lineups and things of that nature, so we will definitely get into that. But yeah, 20 seconds from the rookie box drop, and it'll be cool to see what this looks like.
Yeah, 20 seconds, and I don't believe there will be a queue like we've been used to with Titans. I think it's just going to be a quick free-for-all, but it shouldn't matter too much. I don't think anyone's particularly worried about getting their hands on a box. There are only 1,200, but I think we should be good to go. And here we go. Let's get those purchases in.
All right, so that didn't really queue at all, it seemed like. Kind of just went right into it.
Yeah, I think it's just going to let us take a stab at it. I am almost done buying all of the ones that I want.
I'm in. I went with 3. I don't know. I'm gonna open them. I'm gonna open at least 2. I wouldn't mind hitting an epic on my first one. We'll see what happens. Pull this open here.
Okay, I've got all the ones that I want. Let me just quickly get set up so we can get our screens out there, and we'll get ripping. See what we got.
So the way this works is that each pack has one Cal Ripken Jr. card in it. You've got a chance at the 4 different rarities. The legendary is going to be auctioned off, so that's its own thing. But the options in here are core through epic. There are 700 cores, which is 58% of the packs. 330 uncommons, which is 28% of the packs. 120 rares, which is 10%. And 50 epics, which is 4%. So that's what we have as potential things. So really we're looking to rip that epic. And then just a quick look at the other information here. Just a reminder that if you do hold an epic, whether you rip it or buy it on the secondary, if you hold it for the 831 snapshot, anybody that's holding an epic is going to get an IRL printout of the card with the Cal Ripken Jr. signature. So that's a cool new layer. And then anybody holding any Cal Ripken Jr. card on 831 is going to be entered into a snapshot that's going to have 170 plaques, rookie of the year plaques, airdropped. So that's just another little wrinkle to that. And then the last piece is on September 14th. You need 1 Cal Ripken card in addition to the 30 of Hall of Fame cards. So 31 total. That snapshot is going to net you a Ken Griffey Jr. chaser. So those are the 3 snapshots to know about. 2 of them are the same on 831, and 1 is on 914. So that's pretty much the scoop on that. And I guess since I've got mine pulled up already, I'll rip first. You good to go?
I am all set.
All right.
Let's see what this looks like.
111,
look like a regular
111.
pack. That sounds pretty lucky.
I think so. I haven't opened a pack in a while, so I'm excited for this. All right, so it's just a straight reveal, no pop. All right, just the core. Number 203. Okay. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to open one more. I'm going to sit on one of these packs as is the case. I like to do that. I'll keep the 110. I'll open the 109. All right, number 2. Give me that epic. 0 for 2. Two cores.
2 cores. Okay,
what are you gonna do?
That's the name of the game sometimes. Well, then I'm ready. I'm going to rip 2 as well.
Okay.
And then I got a couple extra that I'm going to sit on. One of the interesting dynamics, and we mentioned this last week, is that there is just a 7-day window to pull these epics. And so whether I rip my remaining packs or whether I try and resell them for a small profit, it's going to depend on how the next 7 days go. If people start pulling those epics left and right, there's not going to be as much value in reselling these packs because all of the good stuff could be gone.
Right.
With such a limited number, we're going to have a very finite information system about what we've got left.
So are you good for me to throw it over to your screen share?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got pack number 194 and 195 ready to rip.
Oh, gotta pull up the stream.
And there we are. Looks like it's moving. So let's just hop right into it with 194. And unwrap. Single thumbtack. And a core. Core number 396. Nothing special there. And then 195. I'd like for at least one of us to get one non-core. Yep. But
the odds are not in our favor, but
okay. 195. Reveal.
Ooh, number 3 though. That's kind of cool.
Number 3. I'm pleased with that. I mean, it could have closed the loops there and made number 8. Would have been even happier. But number 3 is pretty good. Yeah. I'll take a single digit, even if it is just a core.
Not too bad.
Happy with that.
Not too bad. So let's see. What do we got with some immediate action here? I'll throw my screen back up. Going to the marketplace. Obviously, as is always the case, we've got some packs being relisted right away. 34 listed. We have a bunch sold. Wait, what?
There's quite a few sales already. Did they sell out already? Or are there still some? They are. The 1,200 are gone already.
We're already gone, so really? Wow.
Less than 5 minutes, and people are already taking some profits. That's
interesting.
That's interesting to see. I wonder how well this is going to keep up. It looks like the floor price is currently $50. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure how long that's going to hold up for.
Wow, that sold out super quickly. We were busy ripping and didn't even pay attention the way that we usually do. Mm-hmm. But I guess when you've got 1,200 packs that are only $25, it's a pretty enticing price point. So, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see what these continue to do. We're seeing sales come in at $50 now. Let's see what the cards are doing. So we got an epic listing here. Let's see what we got. We've got 2 epics listed, none sold. One for 5,000, one for 500.
Now that 500 listing, that
doesn't sound unreasonable.
It does not sound unreasonable when you're looking at those odds of what's going to come inside. Mm-hmm. At $25 a pop for 25 chances, it's going to cost you on average over 500 to pull the epic.
I think a little over $600. Mm-hmm. And then that's just for the NFT. This is unique where we actually have the IRL signature that you're going to get too. So I would imagine that bumps it. So mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be fun to watch and see where that ends up. Let's take a look at some of the others. Let's see what the cores. $15 listing, $12 listing, We're seeing these sell for mostly $15. Starting to see some undercuts. I might list one of my cores right now, hold the other for a shot at the plaque.
Oh yeah, I definitely have to hold at least one just to get that shot because it's 170 different plaques available. I believe they did mention on Discord that you can only win one, and so each extra copy you're holding is an extra entry to win. So that's, having multiple cores will increase your likelihood, but it does mean that there's going to be 170 unique winners, and so it's not that unreasonable to think that you might be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if there's only a few hundred people who participated in the drop before it sold out. That's going to increase your own odds considerably.
Definitely. So let's see here. Is there anything else worth this is going to be a pretty quick episode, so we pushed it today to be able to record this. It's just been a busy week. There's not a ton of new news, and also need to allow for enough time to render out this video and put the edit together. So not going to be a super long episode, but is there anything else that you wanted to discuss on the Ripken stuff or Hall of Fame stuff before we talk Titans at all?
Only that I'm still just in love with this product that they've put together. I only have, actually no, I forgot. I bought a McCovey Epic the other day because I wanted to round out my McCovey Rainbow, and so but I've been going back and back to look at that Muxie Rare that I picked up before, and it is just incredible. But I have not actually watched the McCovey Epic yet. I picked that up yesterday, and I just forgot to give it a watch. But that's something that I don't know. I just love these assets. I love the interactive element to them, and I don't know. I just hope Candy can maintain this level of quality on their products moving forward.
Agreed. I think that these epics are pretty cool. Let's see. Did we get a sale up? Yeah, that $500 sold already. So now we've got 3 listings. 2 are at 2,000. Here, sorry, I should have my screen up. 2 listings at 2,000, 1 at 4,100, and what could very well end up being the cheapest epic that we see sell today at 500. But you never know. You never know. We've seen that when something gets sold like that, it can entice other people to just list it at a similar price because they saw that there's demand at that price. But there are so few of these, and that real life autograph to me is the kicker, where that's a really cool piece that is obviously holds its own value as a collectible. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. All right, you want to jump over into some Titan chat here?
Yeah, let's look at this week's Titans.
Cool. So we will definitely come back to the Cal Ripken stuff next week and take a look at what some of these other sales are, and I'm going to keep a pulse on it as well while we're talking Titans. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to mention that there were 10 again this week. That does seem to continue to be the standard. And this week it was mostly lineup 1. It was 8 players from lineup 1, and then 2 players from other lineups. I had that in front of me a second ago. 2 players from lineup 5, which would be Bo Bichette and Avicel Garcia. But everyone else featured this week was from lineup 1, so it looks like they are trying to mostly start from the beginning and work forward, while peppering in some players from other lineups just to kind of keep it interesting.
Yeah, so I've got a little bit more information listed out on these 5 players. So all these guys are from week 5. We just had week 6 get minted but not airdropped yet. That'll be on Friday. So these are the top 5 floors out of the 10 that were airdropped last Friday. J-Rod being the obvious top gun here. We've seen only 1 sale so far. His floor is holding at a pretty high value, holding at the value around where the max epics were being sold at, which hasn't always been the case. But anytime you have a quality of player like J-Rod, it's gonna raise the floor. So it's a number of factors, as we always talk about, and the quality of the player is a huge one. But this is a cool list because the 5 that are not on here out of the 10 from week 5, of the 5 that I don't have listed because they're on the lower end, 4 of them were from lineup 1. One of them was from lineup 3, which was Jean Segura. And those are all in the $25 to $35 range. Bregman is the one lineup 1 that cracked the top 5 here. He's still only sitting at 42, and that creates an interesting conversation because it means we've got this contrast between Randall Grichuk and Alex Bregman, where Grichuk is 3 times the price of Bregman, even though Bregman is having the better season. Bregman is, he's hotter than a toasted Cheez-It right now, and Grichuk is, Grichuk's having a decent year too, but it's not, they're not in the same category of player. So it's not like he's having a bad year, but this is just simply a matter of supply. And one of the most interesting things about Grichuk is that we saw his Titans getting listed around $60-$70 in the beginning, which is roughly where his epics landed, or even a little bit above where his epics landed on the day of Titan burning or the week of Titan burning. But those got bought up quickly. We've seen 12 Titan sales, which might be the most of any Titan so far. I'm not sure. Maybe some lineup 1 guys, but certainly of a lineup 6. The fact that floor has made its way up to 130, to me it looks like people making plays on a Titan that could very well end up being one of the lowest minted in the set of 200. So what that means in the long run, who knows? There's no type of set affiliated with this yet, but there is a scarcity there at only 46 minted. It's one of the lowest mint counts of any card we've seen of anything so far. So interesting to see that is sitting at a same floor of a guy like Hunter Green, who has rookie appeal. I put the little RC badge on J-Rod and Green. Those are things that are important to know. But the Grichuk card is going to be a very interesting one to watch play out. It's going to be cool to see if we have anybody else that mints that low. We definitely won't see it from anybody in lineups 1 or 2, probably not even 3, but 4 through 6 all have that potential. So I don't know if there's anything else that in particular that you were noticing.
Well, I did look into those Grichuk sales just to see if it was one person scooping or a variety of people, and 8 of the 12 sales were actually made by the same account.
Interesting.
An account that had already minted one themselves. So they're sitting on 9 now. So if just that one account decides that those aren't going anywhere, then that's already effectively reduced his available supply from 46 down to 37. And when you combine that with just the kind of perfect storm that we saw last week, with Grichuk coming in alongside J-Rod and Acuna, those 2 stars, they stole a lot of the attention that week, and that allowed Grichuk to kind of fly under the radar more than he otherwise might have. And so I think that's a big part of the reason why he only minted 46. We might still see someone hit that low in one of these future weeks. Personally, I'm doubtful of it. I could be wrong, but I think 46 could be the actual lowest mark we hit. And when you throw in the fact that someone's holding almost 10 of those, it feels even more bottleneck than just that.
Yeah, to a point that you've made before, having that distraction of 2 huge players from 2 late lineups in J-Rod and Acuna took away the ability for people to, maybe spend some fun money on an additional Titan that they weren't potentially planning on doing originally. So we've seen other guys, gain momentum in weeks where there wasn't necessarily a whole lot to distract you from it. But when you had money getting funneled into $750 J-Rod epics and $400 Acuna epics, it didn't leave a whole lot. Green was a big one too. So there was a lot of late lineup action here. It remains to be seen what type of mix we see going forward. We also, through the first 6 weeks of Titan burning, have seen a very slow trickle of the leadoff series packs getting distributed. So they've maintained doing a good job of not flooding what would be an impactful supply of the players that are being burned. So like we said, like we've been saying, not asking for a complete lack of distribution, but at a trickle that is slow enough to not material impact burn day. And they've done that so far. So as long as they continue with the same format, it seems like we've got roughly 10 people each week being rewarded with somewhere around 4 packs. I think it is. I think 4 packs is, at least I know from one person that received that reward, that 4 packs was the reward in that given week. So I haven't kept super close tabs beyond that, but 40 packs a week, pretty immaterial when it comes to the volume that we're talking about here. So just cool stuff to look at. No excessive analysis here. I think that we're finally getting to a place where we have enough Titans that we're going to start to be able to analyze it with some deeper data and start to create a hierarchy and be able to filter it by lineup and supply. And now we've got a good number of guys that have been minted below 100, which we've discussed I don't see as being a bad thing. I think it's cool that J-Rod and Acuna and Green all have less. It makes them that much more scarce. This Hunter Green card is a really intriguing card. He's not having a good year, but it's a rookie card. It's his debut card. It's the highest rarity that you can get, and there's only 72 of them. So that's a really cool long-term play. If you're a Reds fan, if you're a Hunter Green fan, or if you just like prospecting, that is a really cool asset that not everybody could get one. And we saw 18 of them get left on the table, or sorry, 28 of them get left on the table. So these are going to play out over time the same way that we've seen the other packs, other series, in that ultimately the player will win out. And I think that that's important to keep in mind. But at the same time, there are things like Grichuk to be paying attention to, where a mint count that low has intrigue no matter what, because there's just never going to be a huge amount of supply to satisfy the buyers. If at some point there becomes a reason Grichuk could heat up and have his 15 minutes where there's a lot of attention on him, or there could be some type of set where he becomes a bottleneck, and now one person owns 20% of the supply. That leaves us with very few available for anybody looking to do some type of collection. So it's all intriguing to watch. It's a cool set of cards. It's not something you want to be minting specifically to flip, although we're seeing with Grichuk it played out that maybe that would have worked out. But across the board, most of these guys are sitting at floors around what it would have cost you, or a little bit less than what it would have cost you to mint the day of by buying the pieces.
Right, and that day of distinction is important. If it is something where you're motivated by those profits, you really have to plan in advance and get those cheaper prices. Because if you can consistently recoup day of costs, then chances are you had an opportunity at some point to get in for half that amount. And if you wanted, take those profits.
Yeah. So, for example, my Acuna, I was accumulating Acuna cards when lineup 4 dropped, and there was a huge amount of supply, big influx into the marketplace. I think my cheapest core that I picked up was $5. That was a one-off, but I picked up a lot of them for $10, and I put together the pieces for Acuna for somewhere around $200, and that had enough. There was enough of a gap there in the attention cycle where there is room for some profit if I were to choose to sell it. It's still sitting in my collection at the moment. No immediate plans for what I'm going to do with it, but it adds a little bit more decision making because my entry point was earlier. But if you buy the day of, it's probably sitting around what you paid for it, if not a little bit less. So please continue keeping that in mind when minting in a given week. So that's all I got. That's all I got. Let's let's take a real quick look over at Ripken here. Let's jump into the marketplace.
You're gonna be a little surprised, I think.
What do we got?
The current pack floor is $70.
Wow.
And there have been numerous sales in the 60s, and we've seen some hit the low 70s just now. It looked like things were going to settle at about $50 or so, but as quickly as people were listing them, they were getting snatched right back up.
Yeah, pretty thin floor at 70 as well.
Yeah, thin floor at 70, scales up quickly from there. Only 28 listings of those packs. Already almost 200 have been sold, which is a sixth of the supply changing hands
Hmm.
really quickly. I don't think either of us were
No, definitely not. It's pretty cool.
expecting this.
No.
Hmm.
Let's see what the rest of the floors are sitting at for the individual cards. So core is still sitting about where we saw them before, 13. Uncommons at 32, so right above pack value. Rares with a nice return, and we've now got a listing at $1,000 on the floor, which feels a little bit more in line with what my guess was anyway. Not that it was founded in anything other than, but yeah. So this $500 sale still looking pretty low at the moment, but it's still very early. We're only 23 minutes after 1 o'clock Eastern, so
Hmm.
6 listed, 1 sold, and of the 6 listed, one of them is 300,000. Oh, that's the jersey. So the
That's the
jersey 8
jersey,
has been
number
pulled.
8.
That's cool.
Mhm.
That's listed for 300K. We've got number 10 listed for 10K, and then like we said, a couple still sitting there at 4,100, 2,000, $1,000. So yeah, something that's gonna continue to be interesting to watch. And yeah, super cool that the packs are seeing that resale value. That's always good to see. Always good to see that the demand is higher than the supply. That's what Candy needs to keep doing. If they're going to keep releasing product, which rubs certain people a certain type of way, and not to say that I don't understand that point. I absolutely do. But if it's going to be done anyway, if there are partnership agreements in place that they have to execute on, then we want to see
Mhm.
things like this that are selling out immediately and that are going to have resale value. That was one of the things that got people so intrigued with the 2021 set. Was my at least my personal interpretation was that it was like profit sharing, right? Let's reward the
Mhm.
people that are coming in here. Candy's going to make money on the retail sale. The person that is getting in on the drops is going to make some money on resale if they choose to do that, or they're just going to get a collectible that is way under market value on the secondary market. And that allows for everybody to maintain excitement about it. And it just comes down to supply and demand. That's all there really is to it. And it looks like that they got it right on this one, at least in the short term. We did see an initial spike on the Hall of Fame stuff a couple weeks ago. Those have come down back to around retail price. We'll see where that heads. But again, anytime we see new excitement on a product drop that is, these packs are 3x their initial value at the moment, we'll see where that goes. So I don't know if there's any closing words that you have.
Just a few. One thing that I really liked about this Cal Ripken drop is how involved Cal Ripken himself has been. He's made several tweets about it. He's recorded videos for it. He himself seems enthusiastic about the partnership with Candy and these digital assets, and it's refreshing to have someone being a part of this product who is engaged with it. And we've tried to try and focus on people who are similarly engaged as well. When we spoke with Jordan Romano and Ross Stripling, it was not because they're players who know what Candy is, but because they've actually engaged with the product and can relate with us on that level, as opposed to maybe some players who are finding out about it for the very first time. And Cal, for his part, seems to be engaged with the product. I think that goes a long way. So I really liked seeing that. And then, the other thing is with the Hall of Fame drop, we do have that snapshot coming up in mid September, September 14th, I believe, to qualify for that Griffey Chaser. And so we may still see a predictable rise in those values as well, maybe coming off of the hype of how well this drop has at least started, but also people who were waiting to find the bottom before they put their set together. I know that was the approach I took. I did not put my Hall of Fame set together on day one the way I have on some previous drops, but over the past couple weeks, I was slowly piecing it together. Maybe not trying to find the exact bottom, but just trying to save myself a few dollars this time instead of rushing right out the front door as soon as I could. And so I think we might see some more of that, some more people who, with that upcoming snapshot, are finally ready to put their Hall of Fame set together.
Yeah, all good points. And I definitely agree with you on the involvement of Ripken. The video that they put out, the thing that stuck out to me was when asked the question, why would you want to own a digital collectible? His answer was really thoughtful in that he didn't really say why you definitely want a digital collectible, but his sentiment was, why would you not at least educate yourself on it? At least have an understanding of what this variation of a collectible is like, and see if it's something that you might enjoy. You might not, and you might, just like anything else that you could engage in your spare time as collectibles and hobbyists and things of that nature. But his sentiment was, give it a shot, see what you think. And I think that that's a really good mindset, especially somebody of his generation. It's cool to see somebody open-minded, and so great video, great to have him involved on that level. But with that, my name is Nate. That's David. This is the Talkin Candy weekly update, and we will see you in the next one.